Today, I really want to share with you probably the most exciting distinctive at Calvary Christian College, and that is stage-based learning. We've known for a while that students learn by stage, not by age. In other words, not every child learns to walk at the same time, learns to talk at the same time. The same is true of learning. Every child has their own unique, particular ways of learning, which is why you hear so much in the media about personalized learning. And what we seek to do at Calvary is really tap into opportunities to personalize learning for our students. So we introduced stage-based learning. You will find that stage-based learning depends on the premise that a student is learning on a lifelong continuum. And the Australian curriculum describes that continuum for us in a scope and sequence document that you can very easily divide or chunk into 2-year stages. The curriculum scope and sequence shows us what students need to learn, but it also shows us a depth of understanding that a student can go to. And some students may seek to go deeper and deeper into a topic than others. We have achievement standards, of course, which is what we assess student learning against and we report student learning against. And those are linked to a particular age or a particular year group. And we do observe that, but we don't want to hold any child back. So we make sure that we look at particularly the adverbs and adjectives, the words that describe for us deeply the distinction between where a child is at and where a child is moving to in their learning as they move along that continuum. And so we are able at any point to pull, nudge, stretch a child into the next phase of their learning. We don't wait, for example, for the end of year 3 before we allow you to learn something a year 4 might learn. Stage 2 encompasses both year 3 and 4. And so any child in that learning environment or classroom is able to learn at their own pace, in their own style, within an environment that is collaborative. That's the essence of what stage-based learning is about. One of the other things about stage-based learning that excites me particularly is the way in which it ensures that every child is always in front of what the media would describe as a quality teacher. I believe all our teachers are quality teachers, but when you have a teacher in one room, on her own or his own, for the year with one group of students, there isn't a lot of variety there, and there isn't a lot of opportunity for stretch, pull, nudge for the teacher as well as for the students. And we find that we get the best outcomes when our teachers work collaboratively. So they're always working in teams. And what this means is every teacher's strength contributes to the stage experience that the children enjoy. And so it means that children can connect at different times with different teachers. Children can enjoy the strengths of each teacher. Very often a teacher will have a particular passion and that lights the fire in a particular child, and that child would miss out, wouldn't they, if they were in a class with a different teacher. So our children are grouped and regrouped across the year constantly, and that gives them exposure to different teachers, different teaching styles, and the teachers working collaboratively with each other means that every teacher walks into a classroom with the best of learning design. That thrills me. We introduced stage-based learning over 5 years ago, and since then we've been monitoring, we've been continuing to read research, and we've been tweaking what we do so that we ensure that our students always get the best and the most up-to-date educational opportunities. What we found, much to my surprise, was that the social-emotional learning of the children skyrocketed. The benefits of having a multi-age class are enormous, and we didn't anticipate that. What I mean is, a child is in a stage for 2 years, but half of that stage changes each year. So let me go back to a concrete example. Children in year 3 and year 4 are in stage 2 for the whole year. And so you've got older children who are capable of leading, taking on a role where they nurture and help to look after younger children. And we found that this has helped stimulate confidence, boosts skills, a child's sense of competence, because sometimes they'll teach each other. And then, of course, the next year, they find themselves, the year 4s go to year 5, and they find themselves the younger of the two groups, 5 and 6. And so it's a whole new experience, a whole new learning set. They learn that when you do feel vulnerable, because you may when you move into the next stage and you're starting with something, there are people around you who can support you. And this is very much like the real world. We're very keen that our children always have real world learning experiences, because our fundamental role is to prepare children for the world, for life, forever life. And so I think it's important that children have opportunity to grow, to nurture each other, and to experience the full gamut of the social emotional learning. What's also been of interest is we've done this long enough now for us to notice, and for our students to notice, when they re-encounter each other every second year, things are different in their relationships, and they're starting to notice that this is because they've grown and changed. So your friendship when you're in year 1 with a year 2 child might look very different when you encounter each other in years 9 or 10, much further down the track. And so we have real relationship, authentic relationship developing. At Calvary, we claim to grow the whole child, and we can see this is actually happening. We saw this in the classroom, and this was the first time in my career that I went back to research, and I didn't have research lead what I was doing. I went back to research to see, is there anything out there that tells us we should have expected this? And there is. There is quite a significant research base around multi-age classrooms. Ours are only 2 years, but all of this research tells us there are enormous benefits to the social emotional development, the personal growth of every child who is exposed to a multi-age class. That has been a benefit that we didn't anticipate, and we're thrilled with that. What I do know from stage-based learning and the data we've collected so far is every child makes progress. Every child makes progress at their own pace, and we are surprised and delighted by the number of children who make more than a year's progress for a year's attendance. So I'm committed to stage-based learning because it gives us the greatest opportunity to provide for our children exactly what each one needs. I hope that you will enjoy delving into stage-based learning as you look at the other videos on the page and look at some of what we've written as we seek to share with you this distinctive at Calvary that is an innovation in education and is bearing good fruit as we build young people who can contribute to the world in the future.